We are in a brave new era for silver, over £100 an ounce. In fact, if you buy just one coin from Bullion by Post, one of the most popular and easily found bullion dealers here in the UK, you're paying £117.60 Great British pennies. Now, part of the problem with that is a huge element of sales tax, and that's very punitive, and it always is going to be punitive. It's a very, very bad tax here in the UK. For those that don't know, it's sales tax. It's absolutely awful. But it's a part of silver stacking here in the UK. How do you avoid it though? How can you get around the tax on silver? There are plenty of ways to do it legally without breaking the rules. And these are my top tips of how to buy silver right now against these all-time highs and really get what I think is best value. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to another Precious Metal Ramble where we have down-to-earth discussions about all things precious and shiny. And today I want to talk about the brave new world that we seem to be in for silver. £117.72 Great British pennies for a best value silver Britannia. Now this is not a video casting shade at Bullion by Post. They have long been a very good company, and I will say they are a fantastic company, but they are on the expensive side. They pay a lot for Google advertising, and they are often the first company that you'll ever come across when looking to buy silver or gold. That's just the way it is. That's the free market economy. I don't like the idea of calling out dealers for high prices as we are in a free market economy, but what I do like to do is highlight that there perhaps are better ways to look to buy silver, and indeed gold, if you are looking to get into it. And unfortunately right now, with all of the new people and interest for silver, considering the high prices, there are going to be a lot of people who will be going and paying over £100 an ounce. Even the Royal Mint, over £100 an ounce right now for the new 2026 Britannias. Is that really a good price? We're going to ask that question, talk a little bit about what you can do as a buyer to protect yourself and get the best value. Because, again, with all the will in the world, saying £117 coin is best value is a hard stretch, especially when you look at quite how much the dealers' premiums are on top of this stuff. So that is, I think, an interesting component of this discussion. But the secondary part of it is also, what can you do if you're going to look to get out of silver? If you're looking to get into silver right now, I would hope it's for the long term. But if you have to sell it, how do you sell it? Where do you sell it? What do you do to get the best price? And those two things combined might help a lot of people get what I think is best value out of investing in silver right now. So, brave new world it certainly is, £117.72. And all we've got to do and look is the last 15 years, and I've been buying silver since late 2014, and if we go back to, I think it was around November time, it was under £10 an ounce for spot price. And I remember looking at UK dealers, and they were selling, I think, for about £14, £15, £16 an ounce, because there was VAT on it, for those who don't know, sales tax. And that's part of the problem here in the United Kingdom. You'll see a lot of bullion dealers have their price excluding VAT and then a price including VAT. That sales tax is 20% on top of what you're paying. And it's not just on the price of the silver, it's on the premium that the dealers put in. So back when silver was a lot cheaper, it was a lot easier to get a half decent price for it because you'd pay spot, let's call it spot price £10. That VAT element is £4. Sorry, it's not even £4, it's £2. Goodness gracious me. Maths. The VAT element is £2 and the dealer premium might be £2 a coin, and so your price is 14. Or you could go and buy from second-hand markets, but because dealers sell it at that price point, you could often buy it for just a little bit under, so £12, £13 an ounce, and save yourself a bit of money. So now with the VAT where it is, just look at that chart, hey, look at that. That's not normal. That is not a normal looking chart. But anyway, that's for another time. But right now, with the VAT element being close to £20 per coin, that is crazy. That is mad. And part of that is, of course, the dealer's premiums on top. And you'll see a lot of bullion dealers have these banners at the top saying high demand, warning, might take a while to get your orders dispatched. It's not just Bullion by Post that are experiencing high demand. All dealers are. And as a consequence, there are delays. And that's causing the prices to go up. It's simple market economy, supply and demand. Is there a lot of demand? Yes. Is there a lot of supply? No. Therefore, prices go up. At some point, that will start to rectify and we'll see those premiums come down. But until that happens, we are just stuck paying high prices and having low buyback prices. That's the big problem. And if you go to a lot of these bullion dealers, let's go back to Bullion by Post and see what happens here. So we've seen 117 plus pounds for 1 ounce silver. If you go and sell a Britannia back to Bullion by Post, currently they're paying £71.08. That's quite the difference. And of course, then you've got to look at the dealer premium that they're putting on top of these coins. And that is where the sort of free market economy comes in, not me bashing Bullion by Post specifically, but you know, their net unit price is 98. They're paying £71. That's adding £27 per ounce of silver. If I was making £27 per ounce of silver selling my own silver, I'd be laughing my way to the bank. But then they have the VAT on top as well. So it is quite a lot to factor in. So what are the solutions? Well, long have I said, and indeed long have I been doing this myself, buying silver on the second-hand market from individuals. And one of the best places to do that is the Silver Forum. It is an incredible community where you can buy and sell silver, gold, platinum, whatever you want. And it's just a really great place. Now, there are plenty of other social media sites. You can buy on Facebook, you can buy on Stacker Social, you can buy through Instagram, whatever. There are plenty of other places that are good social media sites, but I've always found the Silver Forum to be the best out of all of them. And if you put into perspective that right now, this is a incognito tab here, so I'm not logged in, but in the trade section, you'll see nearly every day deals come up, and I see people selling kilo bars of silver for about £2,500 right now, based on where spot price is, and spot price for a kilo of silver, 2284. So that's a fair premium. And when you compare that with buying a kilo bar of silver from a bullion dealer with the VAT on top, £3,487. That is a lot. Look at that, £581 in VAT. Crazy, 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 crazy. But here's the converse element and argument to my discussion today, because this price point here, £3,487, actually helps fuel a little bit of a sort of free money loophole almost from the world of bullion right now, because that's the market rate that people seem to want to pay, or at least think they should pay, or at least it's the standard market rate. And so when you go over to the likes of eBay, which is a good place to get a barometer of where prices are, and you filter by sold items, and we look at kilo bars of silver, we can see that people are paying over £3,000 for kilo bars of silver. Just this week, sold yesterday, 20th of January. That's crazy. Now listen, I made a video a couple of months ago, not even a couple of months ago, early December, saying people paying £1,800 per kilo of silver are stupid, they're never going to make their money. Well, I was completely wrong on that, because now, of course, the price where it is and the premiums where they are, people are flipping these bars for a significant amount of profit. Now, there are, of course, risks of selling and buying on eBay that you could be scammed, and certainly when an item is of over a certain value, often you have very limited protections as a seller, and as a buyer you're a little bit more protected, which then allows people to take advantage of the system. So be very careful and conscious of that. But for example, you could go over to the Silver Forum, buy kilo bars for £2,500 and go over onto eBay, list them for £3,100 and make yourself a nice cool £600 profit for not very much work. That's crazy, but that is only possible because bullion dealers are asking an awful lot for their silver right now. And part of the problem with that is the punitive nature of VAT, which is a really stupid tax. I hate VAT. I think it is one of the most punitive taxes. It penalises people who are less well off in society, and it is just a stupid tax. But that is the nature of our country. Sales tax is what it is, and sales tax on silver is even more stupid and redundant, but that is just the nature of silver right now. So, put those two things combined. If you are actually looking to buy silver, then get it on communities, get it on social media, get it cheaper, and then you can sell it if you need to on the same social media sites for a fair price, or you can try your luck at somewhere like eBay and try and get a better price for it. That is, I think, the way the world goes. And the prices are quite different because, of course, if you're selling, you know, £74, £75 an ounce for silver right now from a bullion dealer, so it's an okay price, but it's not great compared to the 100 plus that you're paying for your coins. Or, as you can see from Britannia's here, you can get nearly £100 an ounce for your Britannia selling on eBay. And there's a lot of demand for it right now. There really is. So really interesting to see how that different market is reacting. This person got a great deal if it is indeed genuine. So you've got to remember there are interesting scams out there on eBay, and people will put up things that are not necessarily real and take advantage of people. You can get almost like a free interest loan on eBay these days. If you put something up and just don't ship it out, you have to refund them in a couple of weeks. That's just how it is. But anyway, that I think was quite interesting. The fact remains that we are in a brave new era for silver right now, and the price of it being where it is, I think we're only going to see it continuing to go. And I've done a few videos recently sort of showing that silver's continuing price up is going to be a little bit of a problem for most businesses that deal with silver because of the fluctuations, the instability of the market, and the punitive nature of VAT element to it. But it doesn't seem to be slowing down, and all of the sort of gossip I'm hearing on various different dealers' sites and various different dealers' feedback is that the market is mental for silver right now. It really is. And that high demand is not just a banner to instill fear and FOMO. It is real. It is very real, and there is a lot out there. Now, my little plug at the end here for the Silver Forum also goes in combination with my own little service that I do, which is the Backyard Bullion Buyers Club, and I guess Sellers Club as well. So if you are selling, and I've sold, you want to sell on social media, but you haven't got a social media platform presence, and you haven't got a profile that has got any feedback on it, that can be a bit tricky. So what we do as an intermediary is we can help people find buyers. We can get those buyers to you and they'll pay you directly. That's what we do, act as an intermediary, as an agent, so to speak. We won't be getting you eBay prices because I don't think that that's really the fair thing to do, but we'll get you decent prices and decent returns that will outstrip what you would get if you sold back to a bullion dealer. And then you don't have to do all the stress and the hard work and the risk of being scammed. Also, buyers get a better deal as well than buying from a bullion dealer. So that's my little plug. If you've got silver that you potentially want to sell, liquidate some of those profits that you're sitting on, then have a think about what's best for you, whether you're selling it yourself on social media, whether you're going to sell it and take risks on the likes of eBay, or whether you'd like to explore my own service. It's a paid for service, but it's a worthwhile service, and we've done it for a lot of people, and it's a really good one. So there we are. What are your thoughts on the market right now? I don't want people to just jump down to the comments and cast a lot of shade at the likes of Bullion by Post, because I'm using them as a bit of a scapegoat in a way, because they're always really expensive. They always have been really expensive, but they're a really good company. I will say that right off the bat. They're a fantastic company. I've bought from them before in the past. Definitely worth looking into. They sometimes have really great deals, and they often pay really good rates when they're buying things like kilo bars of silver, certainly compared to other dealers. But £117 and 60 great British pennies, I would not describe as best value. And again, that's not to cast shade at them. That's just the way the market is right now with the VAT. So for you cool kids, the phrase I want you to use today is £117 and 60 great British pennies. Is that really best value? That's your phrase for being in with a chance to actually win a best value Silver Britannia from us. At the end of every month, we'll pick one random video and one random cool kid comment and give you a Silver Britannia if you're so lucky. That is it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you all on the next video. As always, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.